I beg. We want to talk to people, long again the facts. Yeah?
Then two political parties, APC, SFP, anybody who has to say becoming a threat, then get away for confuse you or polarize you, let you lose your strength.
And again, this just bring me to the question of what they say for even they do local language in a school. How then they go compare with?
I think it's not a bad idea for local languages.
Why not supposed to allow any school for submit to them when the school don't get approval from MBSSC?
My job is to test the people who shape our country, socially or politically. We discuss important human interest issues, hot seats, a platform to hear your views.
It's quite an exciting Wednesday evening. Good evening and welcome to the Hot Seats program with Mr. Live Night YV Television, now channel 33 and SEF now we ready 101.7 FM and similarly so now we Facebook page AYV. It's always Hot Seats, they bring you issues for do with the country's national development and they cut across a number of facets, and most times I tell people there are many sides to the story. It's your side, my side, and allow the public for judge. I mean, your side, the next man inside, and allow the public for judge. And that's one reason why we can seriously bring now the studios a number of guests. I mean, people from diverse walks of life. We understand the subject matter. And we get to be tolerant to each other. It's just essential so we get to be tolerant to each other because that's the only way Stallion go will forgo. You not get for behavior at all the time, no. Because nobody not get monopoly to knowledge. But nonetheless, we have Samuel Ibrahim Koroma. Inside our program today, we look at Stallion at 65. Stallion at 65. Have we made progress thus far? And so for that reason, we get an engaging conversation, get two fine gentlemen in the studios, happens to be honorable members from the Honorable House of Parliament. We go take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to introduce them two fine gentlemen in the studios, and we will continue the conversation. Again, me and Samuel Ibrahim Koroma, and the conversation will be centered around Stallion at 65. Have we made progress thus far? And who say these areas then they for let the country improve? We go for a short break.
So you know things maybe so we put it down there for please journalists and then bring this one for able old at the back. Then we go. No, please. I know it's a beg. I beg. We want to talk to people long again the facts. Yeah.
Then two political parties, APC, SFP, anybody who has to say becoming a threat, then get away for confuse you or polarize you, let you lose your strength.
And again, this just bring me to the question of what they say for even they do local language in a school. How then they go compare with?
I think it's not a bad idea for local languages.
Why not supposed to allow any school for submit to them when the school don't get approval from MBSSC?
My job is to test the people who shape our country, socially or politically. We discuss important human interest issues, hot seats, a platform to hear your views and opinions without fear or favor.
I talk about Arise, suicide government they play Anki Arise project.
Yeah. Mention also about parent issue.
Honorable parental don't pay the full amount to the ACC.
Una check who say pull money there for paying quick?
No check.
Wait,
yeah. Listen. No, wait.
Again?
Wait, okay, I know they lost. No, make like lost. No, wait. No, listen.
Government only increased taxes on people for this past 3 months. You don't think it's a burden to people?
In economic development, you they increase tax. So you know things maybe so we put it down there for please journalists and then bring this one for able old at the back. Then we go. No, please. I know.
YV Television, channel 33 and SEF now we ready on 101.7 FM and similarly so on our Facebook page YV News. And as always, we can invite on our views them at the program simply by dropping us those comments, questions and contributions. Now the Facebook page and as we go along we'll go through them. Again, me is Samuel Ibrahim Koroma and the topic now Stallion 65 years down the line, where are we as a country? Again, as informally I want to get two fine gentlemen, maybe don't join at the studios for Rob Motsman, this all important topic. I get the pleasure for introduce Honorable Hindolo Moro Givao. We come up from the ruling Sierra People's Party. Honorable, as always, it's a pleasure having you.
Good evening to you, good evening Sierra Leoneans and viewers.
And similarly, so I get in the studios Honorable Alpha Ben Mansari. We come out now the main opposition, APC Party. Honorable, now a pleasure for getting to the studio. Good evening.
I'm glad for there and good evening to Sierra Leoneans.
I don't say that you have to ask for the confirmation, but I see you particular press release with regards when I'm going back to Parliament and on a local council authorities and going back to office. Is that so the case?
Of course.
I don't have for blue, I don't have for it.
No, but not to tire. I think say we don't get progress so far. We go benefit the country, and so that's the more reason we the party don't pull a press release for a return. And this could benefit not only the APC, but the entire country.
Do we get any benefits to the country? In what
Of
sense?
course.
Quickly. That is to the topic of conversation.
Well, the broader perspective of the benefits are the try for measure that we strive now, be focused on how best to work at it for the electoral reforms. And when we talk about reforms now I think we very good for any country. Any salary for any self, now your house, now your office, now your car, everything need reform. And so we roll as opposition for checkmate government on things the office say they want relax a little bit. And so we can ginger them up. And we'll go back on our table, discuss, and we'll get a fruitful outcome. So this is good for country.
We can't talk of styling progress made thus far, challenges encountered over time, without talking of reforms. I think this is one point we don't start. I think we've started on a very fine note. But nonetheless, the country gets multifaceted problems. A lot of problems, a lot of progress. You can't say Sierra hasn't made progress, but many challenges still persist. Honorable, we therefore segment this conversation into various areas. Therefore, talk on the economy, talk on politics generally. We look at ways for talk on the education sector, infrastructure, how far are we, in many other areas. But at this moment, help the public understand which areas you will pinpoint as key areas where you think Sierra Leone will make progress 65 years down the line.
Thank you very much. We don't come a long way as a country, democracy. We don't make huge progress with democratic strides. I think Sierra Leone, the envy of plenty African countries, plenty countries, them globally. For make you get a country where you don't hand down power democratically on the 4 successive occasions, okay? That's a huge progress where we don't make. Peace. For make a country there at war, we wanna get out of war, we wanna able to maintain peace in that country there for this long now, I can say we don't make progress there. From statistics that can say Sierra Leone is the second peaceful country in West Africa, and is it 4th in Africa? So when you look at the rating globally, na the continent, na the sub-region, we have really made success when it comes to peace. For absorb shock, Sierra Leone, we are resilient people. They shock them when we don't absorb, only they show say we are making progress in being determined as a nation for make we not crumble, make the nation not die. The shock we experience in Ebola, Corona, the war, all of them shock here. If they talk about the economy, you link them directly to economy, why make economy this so, and say we don't also make progress as far as the economy concerned. Basically, we're not the worst economy in the world. I will say, Sierra Leone economy is not the worst. Sierra Leone is still a country who say investors and they rush for come. Sierra Leone is still a country who says people that they love for come and stay. Okay, and I can say we get a huge economic stability. Even when they talk about wage, when we are with brothers, we can say the wage bill is high. For me, get a country where they able to pay salaries and on time. It shows there's economic stability. You talk about foreign exchange. You get a stable foreign exchange. The loan to dollar rate is stable for, let's say, 4 to 5 years now. We're more like they're on the same 23,000, 2,300. It's been stable. All of them want a progress. If you don't see the loan against the dollar don't go sometimes 5 million loans, you understand, to $1, that would have been really, really nothing to talk about. But we are trying to maintain all of those things. So I can say by and large, we are striving. We are not there yet, but as a nation, we are doing our best, and we have to tap ourselves at the back that we are doing well.
Honorable, like once you say forget a fair share of this part of the question, are we in a survival state, more so in terms of progress made? Honorable mentioned in our democracy, say huge strides have been recorded thus far, but are we in a survival state as a nation 65 years down the line?
You know, this now we beautiful country. So no matter the ups and downs, we get for actually try for give a very good picture of how country don't progress overall from independence to date, and despite the so many challenges. But I think say we don't move little bit before, and well, we can say we don't progress past so, and the question is why we're not able to progress past so. I think say now one of the things where we can set we reflect and come out with some kind of chaining conversations where this little picking self within our OC they listen we, and even the one we don't own now can also listen. We say if even now today, how can I so the go God taking life? Hope this is how long ago before. So we like Honorable Gebau to say we don't graduate from war, from Ebola, many other shocks where the country don't face. So but then not for be excuses for say Usa Ude so today now. For don't go thousands of miles ahead than Usa Ude so now. But I have to say I appreciate because we all get life, we did live, but more thing they for do as a country.
Let's look at the area of Honorable mentioned the economy. Economic fragility now one thing we salon on the battle with over time. Year in, year out, government in, government out, we've seen a continuation of same. Even though indicators, international indicators, say from internationally renowned bodies that within a country, with the research that they do over time, take for instance World Bank, don't point at the minerals that Thailand do have, say diamond and others, way for don't make the country rich. But the research here in out say the country is still poor. And sits in a broad base, in poverty. Now, one way you don't feel like we get prosperity and poverty. Where have we gotten it wrong? More so when the reality is not being seen in the lives of the ordinary man, receiving the resources when I
You can't deny the fact that we are but a poor nation. You can't deny the fact.
Poor?
Yeah, we are. We are rich in resources, but we are poor people. You understand? You're not going to deny that fact. They just go to the provinces, take a look at the houses where me and you two with family and they sleep now, villages. You understand? When you really want to measure comfort in life, look at the accommodation facility of the people, look at the hygiene facility of the people, and all of these things. So I can say for today in Sierra Leone, at least 40 to 45% of the Sierra Leonean population they sleep in mud houses, mud brick houses. Okay? And I can normally say the population where they sleep on Vonu mattress is less than 1% of the population. I'm being very honest. We really buy Vonu mattress, that sponge. The population where they sleep on in Sierra Leone is less than 1%.
Doesn't that depict true poverty?
That's why I'm saying we are poor people.
In terms of where we say progress don't they make economically and what have you?
Yeah, we are poor people. That one you can't shy away from it. If you sit on a national forum for come sugarcoat the reality. No, even nature no go smile at you. Okay, I am a provincial. I go to my village every day. I go to Kailang. I go around this country. So we are a poor people, and like I tell you, the things that we point fingers at for measure rich, comfortable life, the lifestyle of the good number of Sierra Leoneans, the way below that one day. Okay, accommodation, electricity, water supply, and the like. We did try. We don't try thus far. Like when you take electricity, now I can say proudly almost all the chiefdom headquarters, unless if I'm lying, at least in Kailang, they have solar energy. But when you go to the villages, no. When you go to the towns, no. Okay? When you take like water supply, even these hand pump boreholes, not all villages then get them. Okay? So the standard of living is still something that you get for desire, and standard of living actually directly connected to the life expectancy of a people. The standard of life is directly connected to your life expectancy. If you get everything where human being need, electricity, water, good food, good accommodation, clean environment, your chances of living beyond 70 is far greater than that person with environment polluted. It is sleep on grass mattress, it not get safe drinking water, it not they get 3 daily meals a day. You understand? That person in life expectancy even peg them to 35 to 40. So I can say we are about the poor people.
The symptoms of say the economic status in Sierra Leone could be sensed from various facets, one of which get to do with youth and employment, another get to do with the rising cost of living, instability more so in terms of its currency and heavy dependence on imports, limited industrialization, and perhaps debt distress risk. Honorable, successive governments, this is, even though yes, and we say you would now, you get for, bear much of the burden. But successive governments, we don't see them are very realistic. How do you think we got it wrong? And how do you think situation should have changed more so at this moment?
From 1961 to date,
sure,
governance don't revolve around political parties where they take governance. And the dominant political parties, both the SFPP and the APC. So in any government we come, it is fed for survive, in survival and for staying in power. And any government with the opposition, and for try to come back in power. But few things will get for member also. And we don't prioritize loyalty over competence. For so many years, we get ministries, departments, and agencies. Every year, we read with fiscal budget. And you go see the minister, they read beautiful speeches about how the country will move forward. And you ask yourself, who that employ? Now the right people hire? Now people with competency? Now people who want to achieve result? That's one. The other one now about we also, the public sector is more of political reward for jobs. Like how they talk about
patronage politics.
Yes, the competency-based approach. Who do we hire? Round pegs,
square pegs
in a round hole.
But this is the mayor of both the SLPP and the APC.
Which is why the foundation, why you say two political parties don't revolve around taking governance at this country. So this don't show EDCC, the institutions don't be weakening in terms of performance, in terms of result, in terms of what you want to achieve. The president can read a speech here today. But all those working within those sectors, in fact, not only within the ministries, departments, and agencies, you have to also look at the private sector. how then they interfere into governance. People who want for kind of power, or people who in power, then the men with private sector, people when they allow them for put money at the table and push. You know, these are the bankrollers where they come and sponsor with elections, sponsor what you want for do. And when you assume government, it can out to what we call the compensation, you know, trajectory. Then this endemic corruption and accountability is a very key issue. We don't see many institutions where they don't create. Is it a national public procurement authority there? And yes, we still get problem of procurement processes. And so we get from ensure the wastage system where the areas that we government the waste work money. Yesterday, or I think this morning or yesterday, I went to the minister talk about the revenue they generate, the millions of dollars they generate. And if you check the wastages so far, we know they account for from the people who they call foreign direct investors them. You know, we're honorable to talk about poverty. For me, we're not poor. We rich, but our looters that we get. Looters on both ends. Looters within government circle, looters between citizens, looters within private sector people where they can invest. My brother, you get people where they admire. If he honorable this so now he go na community, he's an honest man, they're not a celebrate him. Even when he talk true, he will not be celebrated. Somebody they work just in 6 months, they don't begin amass wealth. They open supermarket, they build houses. And salon people, they admire them people in there. Nobody's asking those people who side then they get their houses then they so. Yeah. And then one area I want to talk about public funds where they leak through inflated contracts also. The bottom line is if we want for really to celebrate independence from one year to the other, if we're able to ask ourselves, now if gear we there or now a top gear we there for move forward. In handling we health sector, yes. We handle we health sector, we education sector. If you check now, the millions of dollars we government don't invest through donors in education. Me and my brother now with villages and cities get high constraints with teachers. We're not in our school step.
But in all of this, without the blame, honorable, as silent been able, it's 65 years. Does it seem you go on for saying FIBA now wasted 65 years? Because it still seems like Salonable shaping destiny to this moment, honorable.
You know, where we are, if you want to play blame games, you will not get it right.
Of course.
Like you say, Sierra Leone don't be governed predominantly by SLPP and APC. SLPP has governed Sierra Leone thus far for 24 years. APC has governed Sierra Leone thus far for 34 years. MPRC has governed Sierra Leone, let's say, for 5 to 6 years. Okay? So when you take between APC and SLPP, the country has been in our hands. So I wouldn't want to cast blames on APC or on SLPP. I'll cast blame on all Sierra Leoneans. Mm-hmm. Because na Sierra Leoneans and then na APC, na Sierra Leoneans and then na SLPP. Mm-hmm. If you make me head of this institution today, I decide for can't take that screen, I go seller. Okay, don't put the blame on the management. Put the blame on the people where the management they manage. Mm-hmm. Now we in a government. APC and SLPP is formed by Sierra Leoneans. Once I go to Senegal, when I see Senegal, to be honest with you, what came out of my mouth, I say, God, where did we go wrong? When you go Ghana, what thing they come out of your mouth, Father God, what have we been doing? Okay? So there are countries, when you go, the only country where they go, you start for compare yourself with, you say, well, we serve better small, now Liberia, Guinea-Bissau. You understand? Well, if you go to Guinea-Bissau, you will say, oh, well, Father God, we thank you small. We serve we better small. When you go to Liberia, you go say, but not Ghana, not Nigeria. Hell no. not Senegal. So we've got it wrong. And the fundamental reason or cause is corruption. Government in, government out have strived to fight it. When President Ibrahim Koroma came, he fought it so much so that he said attitudinal change. He brought the attitudinal change formula for us to look at ourselves to say, no, I will not take something. You understand? I will serve Sierra Leone. President Bio came and he said, I will wage a war on corruption. If another president comes in 2028, his predominant and focus is also going to be on the fight on corruption. So, to be honest with you, we have 3 water here meant for the 3 of us. If one person takes everything away, okay, 2 people are going to starve to death. That's just a simple equation. So until we are ready to say, look, we are determined to say what is meant for the public has to be used for the public. We will not take all to ourselves. Then we will not go beyond where we are. So I will not put the blame on APC or SA. I'll put the blame on all Sierra Leoneans, because whatever factor that you pinpoint to, that factor is being practiced by Sierra Leoneans. Many
people don't say if Salon forgets some rights, even up until this moment, members of parliament get a very huge role for play. The fact is, when I mention many services that are meant to be provided to the public, you mentioned the villages when I come out, how deployable, state of things that are in villages. The parliament gets one key already in the oversight and what have you. When I get power, I smack that when I need to utilize them.
You see, just like in subsequent months, me and my colleagues there will meet, when they quote the Constitution. The Constitution is like a Bible or the Quran. You choose between the one way best for you. Then you don't preach. The Constitution just to preach for what they do. And Parliament, we oversight role, no they ever die out. It is there. But we get to think about the way forward. I remember when I was outside Parliament, where I not be the Parliament. I remember when you stood in the well, and I feel proud as a Sierra Leonean. So because we know, say, autonomy in personal decision, autonomy for the oversight body system for beginning to operate the way they're supposed to operate. Just let's talk about, with the exception of, let's say, besides the oversight body of Parliament, any oversight body with the power of autonomy for operate independently get a pivotal role for play. Now, for instance, the judiciary.
Because quickly, the public just believes, say, Parliament, they play the role of survival rather than that of service to the people.
Well, that's not the case. Maybe Honorable Gevauki come inside it, but briefly, that's not the case. We all get mandates, and we mandate them limited. You understand? Oversight function when an MP comes to this institution, for we not to audit service. We get a body in the Parliamentary account committee. Public account committee. And normally when we do oversight, we not can take corrective measures on the spot. We can able for do an oversight for able for find out what really don't go wrong there. We put them in a report. And that report is tabled in the well. They give them and table them for further actions. And so now we get time now where Parliament don't give ministers them now so for can answer question time, question and answer time. We then get for can do na Parliament. Because why the speaker think that it's very important for also for those who call self-assessment on ourselves. We be on the week certain time where things are not there because now for go oversight now one for able to get the feedback of the oversight for country and for development is very important. So most of them reported within the table and so PSC also get a pivotal role for play for ensuring that they recover whooping millions of loans, sometimes millions of dollars from the audit report, from the oversight they do. So it's not more of survival, It's more of us getting back the reports to Parliament and then the various bodies are able to act.
Honorable, I asked a question we get for the Parliament. They play much of a survival role rather than that of a service role. We don't see it many times. It seems very empirical in Israel. We are in parliamentarians, and most times the effects waiting for benefit them personally. Salary increments could be one among other things. Them. Whereas many other things they want the public, Parliament seems to be very dormant on most of those things. Honorable.
So one thing I can say. I've been then at the 5th Parliament, but I deliberately decided to follow the PSC this 6th Parliament. I must say I'm proud with the PSC where Honorable Tawa Conte the lead as Deputy Speaker, like he said. The amount of money we don't recoup for government, where if not for his proactive nature, those monies would have been in the hands of institutions, individuals, business enterprises. The amount of money we that committee don't recover for government runs into billions of millions and millions of dollars, I must say. Parliamentary organs, they actually work as prescribed by law. When you're a chairman of a committee, all you need to do, like he said, write a letter, ask heads of institutions to make available to you documents where you get for come probing to. If you see any financial lacuna, you make it available to the committee when in your duty is charged with the responsibility for take action for make the measures be corrected, which is what the PSC does. But I will say, like you said, Parliament has been pushing for their good. Who wouldn't? We are human beings. We were in a parliament, we are human beings. Some of us are very well educated, very, very well educated. We went to the best of schools, we went to the best of universities, we have brilliant postgraduates.
But parliamentarians serving their interests or the public's interests?
Yes. If I take myself and my brother, I'm a brilliant parliamentarian. I am a brilliant lawmaker. I have the requisite education to oversee the lawmaking of any law that comes from any institution, be it from health, be it from agriculture, be it from sport, and we actually do give it our time. You mentioned salary increment. There has been a time that I stood in Parliament and said our salary was less than $800. We in Parliament, but yet we understand because of our economy, we don't go sitting in our houses to say we are not going to work because our salaries are low. But we want you to know that we are not amongst those well paid in Sierra Leone. But yet we occupy one of the most sensitive offices that you and other Sierra Leoneans look up to for the smooth functioning of governance machinery. And even though we know our salaries are really small compared to people working in other institutions, yet we give it our best. We don't put ourselves over and above that of the nation. Honestly, Parliament doesn't. Sometimes you see parliamentarians, they can't even afford a vehicle. You see parliamentarians, they go to Parliament, sometimes they even struggle to have lunch, breakfast. Because when you look at what they are being paid compared to their responsibility, it's next to nothing. But yet we put nation first. That is what we've always done. And we are really giving it our best to ensure that the country runs and produce results, put institutions on their toes in the performance of one of our functions, which is oversight, make laws that will stand the test of time. Like, I'm not trying to praise sing today.
Because Honorable, I behalf for acts, of course, you know, to come under house day. But I behalf for acts, you just help me pinpoint some situations where in Parliament don't put the public's interest first, as opposed to the interest as parliamentarians.
Where the laws we make, I always say, this government get a huge appetite for legislative reforms.
How impactful are those reforms?
Very
on the lives of the
impactful.
people?
You are a journalist. When last did you hear that a journalist has been locked in Panemba Road for writing an article? When was the last time? In the past 6 years, it hasn't happened since we repealed the Public Order Act. Okay? We now have a new Criminal Procedure Act that is making the judicial machinery, the criminal justice code move fast. Okay? That has led to the discongestion of prisons, because those files that used to be clogged in the court, now the law says that when you go to court, if it is a preliminary hearing, within one to 2 weeks, it is committed to the High Court for trial. And we are seeing huge turnover of cases coming to an end, verdicts being delivered by the judiciary. So the Parliament, actually, by the laws that they make for impact society, they put society first. We not with duty for pay society, not with duty for give electricity, but when they come with laws for make we sign agreement, necessarily enter into an agreement for bring come a huge thermal machine so that we will get 24 hours light, we go there and do our job. By doing our job and passing those laws, that machine go come and give Sierra Leoneans light, we don't put Sierra Leone first. If we remain in with duties for make those laws, then and say, well, we not they pay we well, so we not they make laws, even though we don't elect we, then we don't and we don't put your own interest first.
Honorable, as we speak, cement don't go over 200,000 leones, and in the eyes of every other parliamentarian. Is Parliament concerned with it?
We are concerned.
It's a burden on the public.
I bought cement today, 100 bag for 22,000 leons. I used to buy
220.
Yes. 22,000 leons.
220.
220.
Yes.
Per bag.
220 per bag.
Yes.
220 per bag. So 22,000 leons, you understand, which used to be 22 million, is what I used to buy 100 bags today.
Okay.
3 weeks ago, I used to buy it at 18,000 leons, which used to be 18 million. Times they are again, may we avert with mind to the international shocks and the problems that we will face internationally.
Which similar liquidity between?
Yes. Why you see this high spike in cement? Okay, definitely now the American-Iran war. There is no other factor we can pinpoint to them. Petrol don't go, I just buy petrol, diesel, 40,000 leons for a liter. So if that person get for buy diesel, let's say he don't kind of Freetown, like he don't buy cement for 22,000 leons, he get for buy diesel 200 liters or 300 liters for put inside in trailer for carry and go na Kailan, where that 300 liters don't already cost them sometimes 50,000 leons. What do they expect them for go sell that cement in a Kailan? If they go sell them maybe for 30,000 leons. So the first way they can sell an Afrita for 22,000 leons, instead they go get an expensive na the external market. And when it bring an you get for factor in profit, and then they get for also spike the price. So the factors and the external factors them where we the experience, the shocks that where we economy the experience, definitely they affect the price index now we look at
Honorable. I just asked this question with regards the impact of the cost of commodities in the ordinary man life. Almost 65 years down the line, I remember at some point in time when this particular commodity that I mentioned, cement, was around 13, 14, 15, up until 45, 55,000, and now we're talking of over 200,000. Honorable, is the Parliament really concerned with regards most of them?
Firstly, Parliament will get two sides.
Because I remember at some point in time, Parliament passed an agreement to get for do with manufacturing of even cement inside. But that seems to have no impact.
And no one for disagree with Honorable Nkevao on the international shocks when it comes to war. We have had shocks over time. During an Escoman time, we get economic shocks, and we get the Ebola, we are twin shocks by then. But any government we care for in people them, if always look at when we face this trouble as a country, what you go do as a government for cushion the situation. With me and my colleague Honorable Day and so we get a representation role in the Parliament for talk on behalf of we people them. Me for many times so I the team up now the well of Parliament. I look at key critical national issues. When they only affect me district or constituency, where they affect even the people of Kailam and Bont District. And when we learn with voices, and then I think say government gets the responsibility for the scene. A term like this way, the cost of diesel, now down the back mini buy, now diesel car get 40 leons, and now 10 liter is 400 leons. And so what's in the responsibility of government entire? Well, for argument reason, the SLPP will never use the word austerity. They will never accept that. Because this discourse, we just tip here a little bit to the come back, the independent discussion on things that will matter much again. If the tax courts get a role for playing this. For able for reduce the expenditure there are certain area, we will not say fear the influence prices. Cut across.
The APC if say government is subsidized fuel as it is now?
No, I challenge that subsidy with them factor. Now the last press release with NPR pool. And when you do the calculation, that subsidy now just a catch, at least for the government say, well, okay, I want this thing you for don't buy 5 leons so. But we don't say we don't pay the values, then a 4 leons they pay. Not to that kind of way they want for see on a paper. We want for see say then tell you so. Government for find way for reduce the price. Right now say you get private fuel dealers we're willing for drop the price of fuel. There was a time when Zala or Aminata they dropped the price of fuel, and NPRE still stick to that price of 27 leons. You know, nothing will take up almost for 2 weeks fight. I stand at the well, I raise the concern, do several media engagements. That in as much as because the law tell you see, you the dealer no get right for increased price beyond government ceiling. But it can as well reduce the price. But now the pressure they mount within the fuel dealers them, we no want to make that one happen at all. So here comes in the regulatory body way now NPIA, the National Petroleum Authority, for able for engage government and let government look at say let's find ways instead of 40 leons, let's drop them a little bit. So one for a hidden kind news Sunday, because most of them private companies they are so we sometimes they give road so. Now one of the things is we don't become endemic for decades. Then companies they are so they dodge taxes. I tell you, the tax and what would they waste in this country? What's the number would they waste a day? It pass the revenue they generate a day. And we not even try for put red flags for say you ask honorable give out in checking house now. First you get that drum television, that on back television. Now you don't get time, you don't get that television again. And this is how Sierra Leone should go. People they resist change for ensure say they introduce system and processes where a technological change we go able for prevent or minimize corruption in offices. In both the private and the public sector, even when NRA introduced the instant payment of revenue, they introduced their machine sending. Businesses then they dodge their machine sending. So you go to ministries, departments, and agencies. By then tell so now, if we're not able to watch who sign government, they raise huge money and put proper systems them. We're going able to make honorable go there in house. Anybody will pay revenue, the thing they appear in screen. Then even the one where they expend, the budgets where they can allocate annually. It is clear that government gets shortfalls in allocating budget on time and even though one budget they meet the other. In schools, in health, in all sectors, we get budget challenge. So however, if we strengthen the private sector area, for also put some red flags, one area about we still get area also they get selective duty waivers. People will not deserve duty waivers, then they get that duty waivers stay. So government is losing much and few people are earning money. And like I said earlier, why should we keep celebrating corrupt people in this country? Corruption don't become a norm to the extent that if even you treat in this country, honorable giver, you and I will not be admired. People they even imagine, not look where they talk so. For me, I always say, Samuel, for them will become rich now this country. As governance. Most people now, they see business people, they rush for help, support people where they go in for powers. At the end of the day, it wants where the APC can have power. If we influence the government, and we are also experiencing that you get businesses now this country now, where they relax and no worry. Companies and the way they import cement, likely on the pretext saying a contractor. Other businesses tend the way they survive. So we don't get red flags them for able for put proper system and processes. Honorable say he traveled somewhere. Which country did he travel?
Senegal.
Senegal. I traveled to Ghana. Ashamed. The question is, why are we traveling? Why are we traveling as Sierra Leoneans? We know they travel. We they travel for per diems, but we know they travel for ensure to all come. We always shame say this is what we saw in Senegal. This is what we saw in Ghana. This is what we saw in another country. For one year in year out, as I wrap up for this slot, the president. Na line ministries, departments and agencies, they supply information. The speech rights are just they encapsulate everything. Then they say the president they read speech. A one independent, they sit there in blackout, and you begin to ask yourself, when President Bio left, other presidents come. Now party name they change, but the people remain the same. So there is no way we can progress. When you know that we go, in fact, we borrow in power. It's so high, even with domestic debt, where the country for service every month is very high. With international debt is very high, and every day we borrow $1 to $3 million. Now dance with the dance. If you are like saying that the government now in believe, but then debt there, so not able to make who pay salary safe on time.
The government, the campaign. President Bill government's campaign on one of the slates of capacitating the human capital, also to speak. Honorable, how far have we gone with same? More so we still get many schools that are overcrowded, still get many schools that are makeshifts, government-supported schools that are makeshifts, and teachers then will soon get back just now, say they not get everything and forgive them, and many other things. Even the healthcare workers, them graduates them boku, they come every year work not they honorable.
So one thing I'll soon come to that question. The fear crisis. Normally, I can commend this government because
President being government.
Yeah,
they don't type on the fear.
Yeah, because twice or thrice. Fear don't come down at this country without me and you two knowing. The government put them down. They go up, they put them up. Sierra Leone had been a country where people think when something goes up, it never comes down. Okay.
However, genuinely, the increments from that 26 to 28, was it 28.5? Was it truly realistic? Before we can go this 40 so.
Well, I will always say the decisions that public officials take, they take it in the best interest of the nation. I'm not going to go specifically say it been realistic or not, because I'm not going to get data for justifying the comments, say it was not realistic or it was realistic. When you do analysis and you have evidence, empirical evidence to say, no, you're not being get reason for increase because the world market price was still at this rate and you come for increase, that was wrong, then that evidence you can able to use them for beef up your argument. So my understanding or my conviction always is when you're a public officer like the PRA, you only put prices up when you really think the need has arisen for it to be put up, because you know that when prices goes up, they affect the livelihood of each and every Sierra Leonean, including yourself, irrespective of your earning power. Okay? Now to
the question.
Question. If you can jog my memory again.
Human capital.
Yes, I can say
A
President
lot of
Bio,
graduates unemployed.
President
Many schools
Bio-
then we not get bench and chair for sit down.
President
many
Bio,
makeshift structures.
if anybody they give a crown of championship for human capital development, he's done well. He has really, really done well. I mean, in free quality education program, that is huge. My brother, for you to pay for 20% or 25% of a nation's population for pursuing an object or a project that will improve the outlook of the nation 5, 6, 7 years down the road, something that ought to have been the burden of their parents, we must commend him for that. Me and you two know, say, you don't need for go far. You must get a mate who will drop out of school because you're not able to pay fees. Those statistics would have dropped exponentially because right from primary school now, right down to secondary school, government they come in for pushing that responsibility on the shoulders of the parents. So that is why I normally say no parent not in Sierra Leone we go say he not on the eat government money. Because if your son is in primary school and before now the fees now been let's say 1,000 leones for a year, and now government they pay that 1,000 leones. That 1,000 leones is money placed in your pocket, with the expectation that it will cushion your responsibility, and if you're not for them and you picking for them become a dropout, they don't aid you picking for make it actually propel in academic desire for make it better itself and better the country. When you talk about human capital development, infrastructure, he will not solve 100% of the school infrastructural problems. If I sit down here and tell you, say, even if you give President Bio another 20 years, he will be able to solve 100% of the school infrastructural problems, I go to lie. It's a gradual process. Because new communities grow. When those new communities grow, they have needs for schools. When they have those needs for school, as I sit here, I am building a secondary school in a community called Nyandehu Mambabu that houses like 4,000 to 5,000 people, but has got no structure for secondary school. As I am speaking, I am pouring my money, my own money that I earn as a professional legal practitioner. I am building a secondary school for the people. I don't get it from government, I don't get it from parliament, I don't get it from no public source. I get it privately.
4,000 to 5,000?
Yes. 4,000 to 5,000 inhabitants. Nyandehu Mambabu in Kailaon district, the section is one of the most populated sections. In fact, they think they can pass for a chiefdom. There is no secondary school there. Okay? I have seen the need. I am a Sierra Leonean. I am constructing a secondary school. Before now, there was no clinic. The clinic that was there was so small, like this area where we're seated. I saw the need to construct a clinic. I constructed a clinic. I went to the Chinese embassy. They gave me 10 beds. I fixed those 10 beds. My brother, they have given birth in excess of 200 to 300 kids ever since I constructed that clinic. I have had in excess of 20 to 30 kids named after me.
You don't help to support the growth of
I don't help
the population
because I believe in the president in dream. Okay. I mean, from the public source alone, and this is what I want Sierra Leoneans to know. The source of income of Sierra Leone, not just one, taxpayers' money. And the mineral wealth that we have. But if we are to talk about minerals and what we get from the minerals, I will say we get nothing from it because of the bad laws that had been in existence. The laws that are, and the poor infrastructure also that we have. When you take diamond, for example, I have been in the business of diamond. I have a client partner who cuts, polishes, and who cut and polish diamond. When you take a rough diamond like this, which is like a 10 carat, if you take it to the world market, maybe you sell it for $20,000. If you cut it and polish it, maybe you sell it for $200,000. There is no manufacturing industry in Sierra Leone that cuts and polish. So when you take your raw material outside, you are getting less than 10% of the value of that material. Let's take this timber. If you have a factory here, there are some Vietnamese around the peninsula that are now taking our timber, they cut it, they polish it, they make millions of dollars out of it because they are taking it out of Sierra Leone as a finished product. If a government has a factory where they take this timber, they cut it even in log, they cut it, they polish it to meet international standards, we will make millions of loans. Before now, I must comment, there was a legislation and effort being made by the erstwhile government for them to have certification for our, our marine products to be sold in the international market. I have not followed on that yet, but up until 2018, that certification had not gone through, meaning our products from the sea were not accepted in the international market. So imagine if our product, myself and my brother, we can go into the fishing business, get the fish well preserved, take it to England and sell it in England. When you go to London, the bulk of the fish that you meet in the market, they come from our waters. This snapper that you and I eat, you go to the market in England, you meet snapper there, he will tell you. You go to the supermarkets in America, you meet our fish there, but it is not being taken there by Sierra Leonean by our government or by Sierra Leonean people. It's being taken there by these foreign vessels that come, fish in our waters, take it there, use another process to sell it in the international market. So we really need to come back home and see how we can take our own products and maximize profit out of the products that we have that makes us very rich. Somebody was telling me that we have mining companies that take dust from Kabbalah, dust, the ordinary dust. They take it to go and process it in China. It's not the mineral, they dust. They take it, they ship it outside. What do you think they are shipping? So our regulatory frameworks, I think, also have to, those regulatory frameworks must step up their functions and duties. The monitoring of our minerals. Okay, if you come to say you are mining diamond, do you have a license to mine diamond, or you are mining with an exploration license? If you are mining diamonds, are you taking dust outside that has gold, or you are taking diamond outside? But these are, and the president cannot do it alone. The ministers cannot do it alone. The members of parliament do not do it alone. You have units, departments, agencies, bodies. That's why I say the problem of Sierra Leone is not the problem of APC and SLP. It's a problem of Sierra Leone.
It seems we study the solution for the problems don't face over time as a country, because you don't prefer so many solutions to them problems. But I asked a question earlier on for with human capital development, where in Honorable say President Bio is a champion for human capital development. In just a few words, we are about to wrap up.
Yes, in fact, I always question how the objective, President Bio objective on human capital development. None of them can talk about human capital development without mentioning primary school. And that's far beyond we think about paying millions of kids. Good. We not even consider the skill gaps they will get for industrialization, you understand? For the health sector, the medical doctors, the engineers we're supposed to have, where are we grooming them up? Now, you watch at we road industries now. Most of them are foreigners. It's Senegalese, Chinese. Even though we own Sierra Leoneans the way they work, but I'm here laborers them. So you go find out, say, we investment approach in supporting small, medium enterprises for Sierra Leoneans. You see what Gento did. So how many Gentos do we have? So more or less, we money they go back to the foreigners them. So we need to focus on with skill-based approach beyond primary schools. How many people are they tap from the secondary or the universities where we don't empower? Even medical doctors, we don't get psychiatric doctors. But forget a national development agenda, wherein when this president fade out, the other president come, he can able for take over. And for, what do you want for Senayaso? And the area of wastages.
Quickly.
No sooner we manage with wastages, we set systems in this country. No matter what we talk, most of the money they go now people their hands them and go they build now mansions, do any other thing, travel wherever they want to travel at the world, and with people and they suffer. So there is no way we can celebrate independence now. So for able to reflect, say this country now this guy we don't go without able for set proper system and processes, and able for ensure say the people that really bankroll with politics, investors they come. Then they can't support me in the end we then can and take minerals, you understand? Then they dodge taxes, duty waivers and all. There is no way we can survive development in this country.
In a few words, are we truly independent at this moment?
I don't know. We are still in the hands of foreign investors. We are regulating our minerals. They're still championing certain areas that we are in. The revenue that's supposed to come to us is still going back to them. So more or less, we're still under the slavery in disguise while we're in independence from 1961. So we need leaders who are ready for take this country in a way that for transform. Even you, where you want for can employ, if afraid say the employment, it gets a challenge, then go checkmate you. Me and me MP now, we build hospitals, we do schools. Then I don't give a medical boat when I see ambulance. We are out of me. But let's say they give him money now annually of 100 or 200,000, then put audit service BNM, then put anti-corruption BNM. The moment you know work for him people them, in 1 year then they can't announce his name not the well, say not do well, then shame him and rip off everything. You can see this country develop, but we don't do the national decentralization process when our council, pardon me, we get local council when our devolve functions. Now then they send everything for a whole year. In my district, in my chiefdom or my constituency, they cannot construct 2 culverts, and the burden is going to the MP.
Honorable, what do you expect at this moment as a nation? What do you think the people should expect at this moment, and how we can make Salone a better nation? It will benefit me and the generation to come, Honorable, in just a few words.
We get for stop for be self, not be nationalistic. Think about the old man and old woman waiting at the village. We no one day see pipe bomb water. We no one day see light. We no one day see 2-story building. And they can say the national cake and resources, we get equal share to them like that man waiting at the village. It's like a father dying. He left one picking with your mama, not illiterate, and he left the other picking way born with 2 man. That picking way born with 2 man and that illiterate picking then get equal share to them papa in estate. So the resources, the riches of Sierra Leone belongs to all of us. May we not use them and feel that we are better off than other people. More take we also we are equally entitled and more use the national resources in a way that it will better everybody.
I wonder when equity will come inside that particular concept as you rightly explained and so.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Honorable, as you plain thank you to your Honorable Indole Moyo Givawe and also Honorable Alpha Ben Mansari. It's been a pleasure having you in the studio. I just wish we'd be able to segment the conversation into thematic areas. But nonetheless, this is something that will continue. We produce that in our neck, so we wrap off this particular segment. But nonetheless, Emaninake Momo and the rest of the team is playing thank you to now all for the cook behind the scene. Me and Samuel Ibrahim Koroma to the audience on the Facebook page. Apologies when we go through our messages, but we will thank them for go through them. I say sorry that we never go through them at this moment. So meet again for another edition of the Hot Seats program. I repeat, they come up on Saturday at exactly 3 o'clock. So if you miss part of this program on Saturday at exactly 3 o'clock, you watch a repeat of this program. So meet again for another edition of Hot Seat program in Samuel Ibrahim Koroma. Have yourself a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Things maybe so we put down there for please journalists and then bring this one for able old men at the back.
There we go. No, please. I know it's how they make. I beg. We want to talk to people them, long way again the facts. Yeah?
Them 2 political parties, APC, SWP, anybody that say becoming a threat, then get way for fuse you or polarize you, let you lose your strength.
And again, this just bring me to the question of what they say for even they do local language in a school. How then they go compare with?
I think it's not a bad idea for local languages.
Why it's not supposed to allow any school for submit to them when the school not get approval from MBSSC.
My job is to test the people who shape our country, socially or politically. We discuss important human interest issues. Hot seats, a platform to hear your views and opinions without fear or favor.
I talk about Arise, suicide government they play Anki Arise project.
Yeah. Mention also about parent issue.
Parental don't pay the full amount into the ACC.
Una check who say pull the money there for pay and quick?
No, check.
Why?
Wait, yeah. Listen. No, wait.
Again?
Wait, okay, I know they lost. No, make like lost. No, wait. No, listen.
Government only increased taxes on people for this past 3 months. You don't think it's a burden to people?
In economic development, you they increase tax